Hello, Megan and Mr. Schur. Nice to meet you guys. I'm Kelly Robinson, owner of Colorado Premier Tree Care. Beautiful yard. You guys have done a really good job. I've enjoyed walking around the property for sure. I have some thoughts on your trees, and I'm just going to kind of pretend that you guys are here with me and walk you around your property, starting here in the northeast part of the corner. So just to kind of give you a broad overview of what I'm going to tell you guys here, I don't think all your trees need to be pruned. I see some problematic trees that we should probably focus on. I see a lot of trees that don't need pruning, and I see some plant healthcare things. So I'm going to kind of walk you guys through because there's a lot going on here. And if you all want me to come back, or Bill, he's a master arborist as well. And we can walk you through your yard and all that good stuff. But I think this video will do good. So I'm going to recommend just a complete prune on this maple tree. Obviously, it needs some work. I'm going to recommend a complete prune on this crab apple and redbud right there. All these trees over here are doing pretty dang good. These Scotch pines are super impressive. They're lovely trees. Your biggest problem, and it's not going to be a cheap one to solve, is this pine tree right here. It is very much infected with the Ips pine beetle. And if you go up to the base of the tree, you can see it looks like someone took a needle and just like stippled it. There's a bunch of little tiny holes in there. So that is remedied by an amimectin benzoate injection, followed by a dinotefron bark band. And it's kind of a double whammy. The amimectin benzoate gives you 2 years protection in the future, and then the dinotefron kills off the beetle infection in the tree at the moment. It's kind of like goes in and gets the job done real quick, and then the amimectin benzoate gives you 2 years of protection so the beetles don't come back. If you guys do not get this tree treated, it will die, and it's going to be a very expensive removal just because of its location and what's underneath of it, and so it's going to be an expensive injection, but it's going to be a super expensive removal. So I highly suggest that we treat that pine tree right there. And then this one looks like it's having some problems, and it's going to be pretty cheap to treat. I don't think we'll inject it with the amimectin benzoate, the 2-year one, but we'll hit it with dinotefron. So that's pretty much everything in this corner over here. Your other pine trees look good. These guys over here, I was like, I don't have an answer for you on what's going on, why they're like oranging at the bottom here. The only thing I can think of is maybe some like fertilizer in the grass or something kind of scorched like the roots of the spruce here. Or maybe someone like sprayed something on it. I'm not sure, but I kind of took a look at the tree. It doesn't really worry me. It just looks like it was a one-time thing. So I don't have an answer for you on why that's orange right there, but I'm not too worried about the tree. The tree looks super healthy, and there's no beetle activities in there either. These guys are looking good. If the power lines and stuff worry you, we cannot really help you out with that because I can't send climbers up within 10 feet of power lines. But it looks like the power company has come through and given you guys some clearance. So that's kind of a power company thing. But these guys overall are looking good. If you guys are going for a super good looking tree, we could certainly clean this one up right here, just get the deadwood out, all that stuff. It does not look like it has any beetle activity on it either, but certainly something to keep an eye on. If you guys kind of juxtapose, the crown and the needles and how they look right here, there's a little bit of brown this time of year, but the amount of brown in that tree, the one that I'm really worried about, that's what you guys need to kind of keep an eye out with all your pine trees. And especially the Scotch pines too. Those things are pretty sensitive to Ips beetle. So that's what's going on here. But man, beautiful backyard you guys have. It's awesome. So working my way up, this American elm, I'm not going to recommend that we prune the entire tree. I think the tree itself is like pretty good. We'll clean up this bottom kind of stuff right here. That'll improve the aesthetics and kind of clean up the look and the street appeal of the property. And then we're going to do some weight reduction up right here. But the other part of the canopy, there's like little dead wispies and stuff up there. Not really worth our time to you know, get that fine detailed up there. And then for more pruning and removal, or pruning, we're just gonna create space right here so that you get these trees off your house. There's also an old wire up in here that needs to come out or be cut. That we'll take care of. But if you look right there, it's the old wire from the planting. And yeah, it should be cut because it's girdling the tree and it'll kill the tree eventually. So, you know, if you go with me or someone else, just have them do that. These pine trees I'm not super worried about. Maybe this one a little bit. We might want to do like a Dino Teflon on this guy. These dead branches down here I don't love. And I haven't really crawled through the juniper bushes to take a look, but I didn't see a ton of, I don't know, but it would probably be worth Dino Teflon this guy here. So that'll be on the quote. These pear trees are all good. You know, I don't think we need to prune them up. Yeah, they're doing good. The American elm, and it looks like you guys have had it treated before for the elm scale, but 100% of American elms here in the Front Range have elm scale. And if you look, you guys have a little tiny bit of it. That's why I think you guys have had it treated in the past. But we are going to recommend that we retreat your tree for that, right? We don't want to blow the budget on pruning the tree because it really doesn't need it that much. Just this stuff over here, what I was talking about a couple minutes ago. But I think the budget for this tree should be treating for elm scale. And that is going to be the best thing long-term for health-wise for this tree. And the best way to allocate the budget for that tree. Okay. Moving on to the front locust trees. Bad-ass front of the house. This is so cool. It looks really good, guys. So I guess long story short, I'm going to recommend that we prune a couple of these trees, but not all of them. This one is definitely going to be one that we're going to prune. We're going to take weight off the ends right here. This just looks like it's going to come down in a snowstorm. So we're going to take a fair amount of this canopy off on the ends, but we're really not going to mess too much with the inside. You know, clean up some dead stuff and whatnot. So that's that for this tree. This guy, we're going to do some weight reduction as well. It's just, you can see it's super spready. So I'm going to recommend we do canopy reduction on him. And then this guy's good. I don't see any reason why we would need to prune this tree here. And this one right here, we could probably do a little weight reduction on it. It's just a little spready. And same with this guy. So I think we'll hit all of them, do a weight reduction on all of them, except this middle one. It really doesn't need, anything. You know, I don't know who was doing your trees in the past. It looks like they knew what they were doing. I'm guessing maybe like Davey or Save a Tree or something like that. You know, they do good work. And they've probably treated for thyronectria, which is this like pitch canker disease that you guys do not have. But it might be a good idea. It's a pretty cheap application to just re-up on the phosphoric acid application. It's cheap, it's quick, and it does wonders for locust trees, especially staving off thyronectria. And I mean, these are kind of the front runners of y'all's property, and they look awesome. And so I think maybe spending a little bit of the budget on some phosphorus acid it would be a good idea. The ash tree, you know, I'll include it on there for a prune, but I don't really think, you know, whoever pruned it last did a really good job. We could just kind of like clean up the bottom down here and just kind of get rid of the shag. That would just improve the aesthetics a little bit more, just kind of a cleaner look. But as far as like pruning the whole tree, I really don't think it's necessary. This guy's doing really good. I know it hangs over your house and whatnot, but this wood's really strong. We don't have a ton of problem with them in the snow. I guess if I were to recommend a prune, it would kind of be over your house a little bit and just kind of reduce the surface area of those branches over your house. So yeah, I'll put that on there. There'll be two lines on there. One will just kind of be just the shag in the center here. The other one will be the shag plus the reductions of the branches kind of over the house, but not the whole tree. I really don't think it needs it. Looks like these guys have been planted not too long ago, maybe 3-4 years they've been in the ground. So I think they're probably due for just kind of a maintenance prune. Doesn't look like they've ever been pruned. So yeah, now would be a good time. I think they're mature enough, probably 10 years of age or whatnot. And so these guys will be on there as well. And then I recommend that we kind of deep root fertilize. And we don't really even use fertilizer. We use chelated iron and a bunch of bacteria. That's really good for, like, it's like a root therapy, and it would go a long ways with all your trees. I would recommend, even if you don't go with us, but you kind of get on like every 6 months, a biannual deep root therapy with a company with like kelp. We use yucca extract and all this good stuff, but it's really not your typical NPK fertilizer. So I would definitely stay away from the NPK fertilizer and stick with just like the bacteria and stuff like that. The last thing you guys want is your trees to grow faster and bigger, because that just kind of creates problems in the long run. All right, enough talking on me. I'm going to get all this stuff in a quote form, and yeah, I look forward to working on this property. It's pretty sweet. Thanks, guys.